Hey guys, welcome back to another server tutorial video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create an unturned server with RocketMod. First up, you want to go to your Steam library, go find Unturned, right click on it, go Properties, go to Local Files and browse local files. Next you're going to want to copy all of these files and create a new folder somewhere, and paste those unturned files in that folder. This can take a while just because there are so many files in Unturned. Once the files are finished moving across, go ahead and go to RocketMod.net. Click on Downloads and download the latest build for your platform. In my case, it's Windows. Copy these two files and paste them in your folder. Now go ahead and right click on unturned.exe and create a shortcut of it. This is the creation of the launcher. Right click on the shortcut, click on properties, and in this target field right after unturned.exe type -nographics -batchmode and plus secure server if you want anti-cheat. Right after that, put a slash and then the name of the folder that you want your server to generate in. In this case, I'm going to put server number 1. Click OK. I'm going to rename it to server launcher and run that. This will run the server. As you can see at the top there, Rocket has initiated and it's just spawning in all the files for the server. Once it gets to loading level 100%, that means the server's fully set up. So we're just going to go shut down and we're going to go configure the commands.dat, which can be found in this newly generated file called servers, server number 1, which is the name of that folder we made, in the shortcut server and then commands.dat. This will open up a blank file where you set the basic configuration for the server, such as the name that will appear in the server list. In this case, I'm going to set it as Unturned Test Server. I'm going to set the map to Washington. Just when you set the map, just be careful with how you spell it. It has to be spelled correctly, and depending on the map, a capital at the start is required. If you go into the maps folder, it's exactly how the map is in the maps folder. Set the port to whatever you want. By default, it's 27015. Set the perspective. I'm going to set it to both. You can set it to first, third, or both. Max players, you can set this anywhere between 0 and 24. I'm going to set it to 24. Mode is the difficulty, for example, easy, normal, or hard. I'm going to set it to normal. Set it to PvP or PvE, whatever you want. By default, it's PvP. I'm going to set it to PvP. Timeout is the amount of time it takes for a player to disconnect from your server if they stop sending information. So in this case, I'm going to set it to 10,000 milliseconds, or that's 10 seconds. Welcome message. I'm going to set it to that. You can set it to whatever you want. Set the chat rate to whatever you want. I'm going to set it so people can't spam too much and they can only send a message every 2 seconds. Set the owner in this file. So what you can do is you can go to steamid.io and type in your username and get your Steam ID 64, which starts with 7656. Copy that and paste that next to owner. And if you want a custom time cycle on your server, such as pretty fast time cycle is 10,000. Or if you want a slow time cycle, it's 40,000. By default, it's 24,000. I'm going to leave it at 24,000, so I'm just not going to put anything there. Ugh. It's set to 24,000 by default, so I'm just not going to put anything there. Save that, close out of it, and run your server just to make sure that everything is set up properly. If anything isn't set up properly, you'll see an error message when the server starts. So if there is an error, go back and fix it, because it'll say what the error is when it starts. But as you can see, loading level 100% means the server's up and running properly, so we're just going to shut that down again. Now, when you're using Rocket, it's most likely you're going to be using it in conjunction with a plugin. So I'm just going to quickly download a plugin. All the plugins can be found in the plugins page on the RocketMod, so at the top, plugins, and here's a list of plugins. I'm just going to get a really popular plugin, uEssentials. It's one I've used on my servers before. Download it. And copy this essentials.dll. That's what we're after. Go into servers, server number 1, or whatever the folder is named, Rocket, and plugins. Paste that .dll in here, and then run the server to generate these plugin files. Once the server started up, shut it down, go back into that folder, and as you can see, uEssentials has been generated. So here you can configure the plugin related configuration. So for this plugin, it looks like this. It's similar for most other plugins, but not the exact same. Also the kits and all this other stuff. To set permissions, you can do it in the permissions.config.xml. I'm just going to put some basic permissions in. So to get the permissions for that specific plugin I just showed you there, you can go to the wiki page, get the permissions here, and here's some of the permissions. So I'm just going to give TPA permissions to the default group. So to do that, we're just going to copy one of these. We're going to put this in a few times, and we're going to go to that page, copy this, and put it here. That's a permission. So if we want to give the default group /TPA accept, /TPA send, /TPA cancel, and /TPA deny, go ahead and paste those permissions into these spots. Same with any other plugin and any other command. So at the moment we've got a default group and we've got a VIP group. If you wanted to give the VIP group God mode, for example, it would be what you do here, you would make another one of these lines, put it in here, and add the permission node for God mode. So we're just going to add those two, and I'll show you how that works. If you want to create another group, all you have to do is copy the basic preset for another group. So say for example here, everything between group and group here is one group, so you can just copy that, paste it in, change the name of it. So I'm just going to make this admin, and you can set the permissions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and because admins usually have all the commands, what you can do is you can copy this, and then putting a star after something like this gives you every command for that plugin. So essentials.command and then everything pretty much. So that's really basic overview on how to do the permissions. I definitely haven't covered everything. You can set prefixes and suffixes. You can change the color of the name in chat, etc. Once you add someone to a group, it'll appear like this. So at the moment, this default group doesn't have any members, but it'll appear like this once you put a group in it manually. So save that. So now default group has the ability to TPA send and TPA accept. We'll just get rid of one of those as well. So save that, close out of it, and now you can launch your server. So this server has Rocket on it, and it has one plugin. To install other plugins, it's the same way. So put the DLL in the plugins folder, run the server once, and then shut it down. That will spawn the configuration files for it, and then set up the configuration and then run the server again with that configuration. So now that the server's fully set up, we're going to hop in game and we'll show you how it works. Now that we're in game, click on play, click on servers, and go to LAN if it's hosted on your computer. See here, Unturned test server, it appears in the server list. If you want it to appear in the global internet tab, you need to first of all port forward. So port forward the port you set in the commands.dat and allow Unturned through your firewall. If you don't do both of those things, it won't appear on the global server list. So let's go ahead and join this. And as you can see, we're in game. So we can see if we have admin by typing something in the chat. So will be a cyan color. That's the default admin. You can see if Rocket is on the server by typing a Rocket command such as /r or /rocket. It'll show you the Rocket version. We can have a look if our plugin's working that we put in by going /TPA. That will show you a message in regards to the TPA in the chat. That means that the plugin is working. To add someone to a group that you've created in the permissions.xml, it's as simple as going /p add and then the player name. In my case, my name's Kazza397 in game. So type that in, and then after that, the name of the group you want to add them to. So /p add Kazza397 VIP. This will add me to the group VIP. Same with any other group you create. So /p add Kazza397. Oops. And then admin. So I'm now added to the group admin. So I can now go /TPA, etc., TPA send, TPA accept. Thanks for watching this server setup tutorial on how to create an Unturned server with Rocket. If you have any problems in regards to setting up the server, don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. I'll try to help you, as well as the many other people that like to help in the comments as well. Apart from that, have a good day. Thanks for watching.